Hey, this is Mark, and you're welcome to AUTOSAYS. You're sitting at a red light in your brand new Mustang Mach-E, minding your own business, when suddenly someone starts screaming at you through their window, and you realize the only crime you've committed is driving an electric vehicle. Now, if you think that sounds crazy, wait until you hear what happened next. But first, smash that like button and subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind about the war happening on American streets right now. A Facebook post from a Mach-E owner named Cesar Alf just went viral, and it's exposing something darker than anyone expected in the automotive world. This isn't just about cars anymore. This is about money, fear, and a cultural clash that's tearing drivers apart. Cesar was just sitting there waiting for the light to change when an enraged driver pulled up beside him and started yelling, calling him out for driving an EV like it was some kind of personal attack. But here's where it gets worse, much worse. Cesar's friend had their electric vehicle keyed in a parking lot, the entire side of the car scratched deliberately by someone so filled with rage that they couldn't just walk by without destroying someone else's property. Think about that for a second. Someone saw an electric car, grabbed their keys, and decided to commit a crime just to make a point. What kind of hatred does it take to vandalize a stranger's vehicle simply because it plugs into a wall instead of a gas pump? Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone care this much about what other people drive? The answer isn't simple, but it's rooted in both finance and history, two forces that have always shaped the American love affair with automobiles. Let's rewind for a moment. For over a century, the internal combustion engine has been king, fueling not just cars, but entire economies, creating jobs in oil fields, refineries, gas stations, and mechanic shops across the country. The American identity became intertwined with the roar of a V8 engine, the smell of gasoline, and the freedom of the open road. When Henry Ford revolutionized manufacturing with the Model T in 1908, he didn't just create a car, he created a culture, and that culture ran on oil. Fast forward to today, and electric vehicles represent a seismic shift that threatens everything traditional car enthusiasts and oil-dependent workers have known their entire lives. For some, seeing an EV on the road isn't just about technology, it's a symbol of their world disappearing, their jobs potentially evaporating, and their way of life being erased by people they perceive as wealthy, out-of-touch elites who can afford expensive electric cars. But here's the twist that makes this even more fascinating. The Mustang Mach-E isn't just any EV. It carries the Mustang name, one of the most iconic muscle car brands in American history. Since 1964, the Mustang has represented raw power, freedom, and rebellion. And now, Ford has slapped that legendary badge onto an electric SUV, which feels like betrayal to purists who grew up worshiping the rumble of a Mustang GT. The backlash isn't just about electric versus gas anymore, it's about identity, nostalgia, and the fear that everything authentic is being replaced by something silent and sterile. The comments on Cesar's post reveal a pattern that's both disturbing and eye-opening. EV drivers across the country are reporting gas car owners revving their engines aggressively as they pass, lifted truck drivers attempting to intimidate them on highways, and online forums dedicated entirely to spreading negativity about electric vehicles like it's some kind of twisted hobby. One commenter mentioned coal rolling, where diesel truck owners deliberately blow thick black smoke at EVs, turning their exhaust into a weapon of mockery and spite. Another described being followed and harassed at charging stations, as if plugging in your car was an invitation for confrontation. This isn't just isolated incidents anymore. This is a movement, a backlash fueled by fear, misinformation, and economic anxiety that's boiling over onto American streets. But let's talk money for a second, because that's what really drives this conflict beneath the surface. The oil and gas industry is worth trillions of dollars globally, and in the United States alone, it supports millions of jobs and generates massive tax revenue for states that depend on fuel sales. Every time someone buys an EV, they're essentially opting out of that system. No more gas taxes, no more oil changes, no more trips to the pump that funnel money into an industry that's been dominant for generations. For people whose livelihoods depend on that system, mechanics, gas station owners, oil rig workers, the rise of EVs feels existential, like watching your career become obsolete in real time. And here's the kicker. Many of these critics genuinely believe they're being priced out of the future, that EVs are toys for rich people who don't care about hardworking Americans struggling to afford their next tank of gas. There's a perception that EV owners are smug, virtue-signaling elitists who look down on anyone still driving a combustion engine. And whether that's fair or not, that perception fuels the anger that leads to screaming matches at traffic lights and keyed paint jobs in parking lots. But Caesar ended his post on a hopeful note, saying every day they are less, suggesting that as EV ownership grows worldwide, the haters are becoming a shrinking minority drowned out by progress. He's not wrong. Electric vehicle sales are skyrocketing, charging infrastructure is expanding rapidly, and major automakers are investing billions into electrification because they see where the market is headed. The financial reality is undeniable. Oil is finite, climate concerns are mounting, and governments worldwide are pushing incentives and regulations that favor electric vehicles, meaning the transition isn't just possible, it's inevitable. History has shown us time and time again that resistance to automotive innovation is nothing new. When cars first replaced horses in the early 1900s, people protested, calling them dangerous, unreliable, and a threat to traditional jobs for blacksmiths and stable workers. When seatbelts became mandatory in the 1960s, drivers complained about government overreach and loss of freedom. When fuel injection replaced carburetors, mechanics mourned the death of simplicity. Every major shift in automotive technology has been met with fear and pushback, and yet every time, progress won. The question isn't whether electric vehicles will replace gas cars, the question is how long the transition will take and how much ugliness will unfold along the way. So what does this mean for you, whether you drive an EV, a gas car, or you're just watching this unfold from the sidelines? It means we're living through a pivotal moment in automotive history, a moment where financial interests, cultural identity, and technological progress are colliding in ways that spill out onto the streets in real, tangible, and sometimes violent ways. The hatred directed at EV drivers isn't just about cars. It's about fear of change, fear of being left behind, and fear that the world you knew is disappearing faster than you can adapt. But here's the truth that cuts through all the noise. No amount of screaming, keying, or coal rolling is going to stop this shift. The market is moving, the money is flowing, and the future is electric whether anyone likes it or not. The only choice left is whether we navigate this transition with understanding and respect, or whether we let fear and anger turn our roads into battlegrounds. What do you think? Have you experienced EV hate firsthand, or do you think this backlash is overblown? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe because this conversation is just getting started and you won't want to miss what's coming next.